See, I'm back, and you didn't even miss me. Okay, so we got the engine out, and so what do we want to take off next? Let's take off the seat, and I will end up marking my stuff here in a little bit. That's too big. I got my pile of stuff over there for the exhaust. So, but take this off so you guys can see up under the seat, and then we'll take the gas tank off. I'll probably take the, well, let me go ahead and take the back wheel off on this video. So I want to take a look and see if maybe I can, if I'm going to be able to leave the swing arm intact without taking it out and painting it. I took it off the other bike and I painted it, so, and I'll probably do the same with this because you just can't get all the rust and, you know, gunk off of it when they're attached to the bike. And these things usually have a ton of grease on them, so I probably will just take the swing arm off. And this bracket, there's a bracket over here, which you can't see in the video, but I'll leave it with the seat. It is the rear exhaust hanger. And get my bolt out here. There we go. And there should be, yep, there are two bolts up under there, just like on the Trailmaster. Won't lose these. That should be, I think that's a 14 up under there, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah, there we go. Got a washer or something. I'm guessing it's one of the frame bolts. Okay, seat bolt. Let's pop over the other side. Nothing really super complicated with these bikes. I'm going to have to take the damn shock off in order to get this chain guard off. And I got all the wiring in here, which I'll probably just leave that in place and tape it up. And I'll tape it up I'll take the headlight bucket off, and that way I don't have to run all these wires back through the frame, which is really no big deal. I'll show you here in a minute. Once we get the seat off, we'll lift the tank up off of it. You'll see what I'm talking about. These bikes are actually pretty simple, which is super nice. Here we go. There's our seat. What do you think about that, Chuck? Put that over here. Put this with our pile of parts. Get a bag out so I don't lose my seat stuff. Yeah, I know. I didn't bag up the exhaust stuff yet because I still got to take off that one shield, which I got to take off the shock. Knock down the seat. Okay. Easy. Alright, I don't even think there's any bolts holding this tank on. Nope. And yes, it is full of fuel because we rode this thing, so let's lift this off out of the way. One full fuel tank. I'll set this over here so we don't have a spill of sorts. Alright, let me bring you guys over here and I'll show you what I'm talking about with wiring. Pardon the moving around of the camera. Okay, so right there is where the wiring comes in. You can see right here, it's clipped, and there is a mouse nest inside there, so I'll be blowing that out. We got a horn right here, so I'll just disconnect that. I'll take off the horn, and I'll end up painting that. This is the air cleaner housing. I gotta be careful with this thing because it is in rough shape. Let's see here, I don't want it to break. All right, guys, where did I put the air cleaner? Oh, it's right up there. I'll just throw that over there. All right, so at this point now, I'm going to take off the back shocks and drop the wheel down and remove that chain guard. So let me get over here, and I don't know, that's, yeah, what size is that? We're going to find out. That is a 17. And then I believe that inside is either a 17 or an 18 as well. So let's take off. Let me go get my 17 and 18 gear wrench. 17. Let's see if it is a 17 or 18. Might be a 17. Yep. 17 it is. And notice how this one screws in from the back side. The lower screws in from the back side, and the top screws in from the outside. And yes, you have to put the bottoms on first, and then swing it around and put the top ones on. Okay, so here's our chain guard, and as you can see, we got a little bit of rust in through here. What I'll probably end up doing, because you don't really see it too bad on the bike, it's kind of hidden behind this piece here, but I may take a piece of fiberglass patch and put that on it, and then just kind of mud around it. That'll probably work. Okay, so I'll go ahead and take the top shock off. Put these in a baggie. Alright, so we have this side done. So I can come over here and set these aside so that way we don't keep all those together. And actually, that side was missing an acorn nut, so I do have more of those, and I will put those on there when I get it rebuilt. There we go. Then all we got to do is disconnect a couple pieces off the back here. We can pop the back wheel off, which I may go ahead and do because I still got the center stand on it, so it ain't gonna go nowhere. And then I'll probably, off video, take off the front wheel. I'm gonna try to take off all the wiring and cabling, like throttle cables and stuff, and pull those back up through since they don't go through the handlebars. Which is kind of nice. Okay, so there went the back shock. And lower one. This may be boring to some, but I actually kind of find it therapeutic. So, it sounds kind of weird, but I like taking stuff and turning it into something else and making it nice and new looking again. And then these older bikes here, I like to try to keep them as original as possible. That, I don't know if you guys have watched my video on that Express. That thing was a piece of crap. And I contemplated just pitching it, but you know, it turned out that you know, it turned out really nice. I mean, it looks brand new, so I was pretty happy with that. Well, hi, Miss Daisy. You coming over here to help me? Okay, so we've got the seat off, the tank is off. We still got wires down here, and we have Miss Daisy the cat. She helps. I still got to take off the center stand, but I think I'll probably wait until I'll go ahead and get the back tire off. We'll go ahead and take that off. Then I'll probably wait to do the front. I got to disconnect the brake, disconnect the speedometer, and then I'm going to disconnect all the horn and stuff, so I can get to these wires and see if I can. No, I don't know. I may or may not be able to. There's a bracket under here. I don't know if I'll be able to slide this rubber grommet through that. This is a cover. Right here, that's the cover that goes on top of where the carb sits. But I can go ahead and take off the back wheel. So, what do we need? What do we need, Miss Daisy? We don't need that. Don't need that. I'll put this back over here. Looks to be about a 10 mil. Let's see if that's what that is. Nope. Let's try 12. Nope. Well, let's get an 11. Daisy, are you photobombing? I guess that's what the term is. Okay, so just loosening the rear adjusters. Take these out of the way. Now loosen those bolts. Then we'll take this off. We'll slide the back wheel out. And I do have, I got the new tires on these. I can't remember. I don't know if I put are these the Shinkos? Let's see. What do we got on here? Or did it come with these? I think these may have been on here when we bought it. The tires are brand new. They're great. So, no issues there. Drop that over there. And, what is that one? 17? Let's see here. What do we have? Well, what would you do for our Klondike bar? That is a 17. Always so curious, aren't you, Miss Daisy? Always wondering what is going on. Let's see here. I don't want to lose our pieces. I think these are the same. Pretty much on each side. Just remember the orientation of stuff. So let's stick this back on here. Let's stick this on here. Okay, so we got that. And then we'll put these back on this adjuster. And I got to remove over here on this side, which I know you can't see. I need to remove the drum brake thing. Which I should just be able to slide this wheel off that. And should be able to leave that assembly on there. Come on, Daisy. Thanks for the help, Cat. out of here without get that spacer off. Trying to get this off without taking the this one does not have a spacer on the as I'm looking at it right side. The Trailmaster does. This one does not. The whole housing is it's built into the housing. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to drop this off without disconnecting this stuff up here anyway. Well, phooey. Hong Kong phooey. Alright, well, let's see here. We're going to take this counter pin out of here. Okay, that looks to be about 12, maybe. Let's see. Nope. That is. About 14. Okay, where did I just put my 14? Here it is. Close enough. 14 or 15. I'm just removing, then I'm on the other side here, I'm removing this bracket for the, I actually don't even know what it's called, stabilizer bracket, I'm guessing, of some sort. Through here so I won't lose it. And then when it goes to that, it's just a stabilizer bar. Goes to the frame. Okay, so that's off. So now we can disconnect the brake, which that don't lose that piece. More that piece. So I'm gonna put that in my bag of things. I should have rolled this right out of here. Lift it up, take it out. Not dropping the button. There we have it, guys. Look at that. One rear wheel. Brake pads are good. So I don't need brake pads. That's a plus. Clean it out though. Alright, so let's see here. This are rear brake pieces. I don't think that big old rod there is going to, axle rod is going to fit in my bag, but that's pretty self-explanatory for what that thing is. So let's label this rear brakes. There. Frame bolts. You got that. Put these in the bag. So we're good there. Okay. I'll get the camera, I'll bring it back over here and show you what we'll have. I'll disconnect, I'll probably pause this, but I'll disconnect the camera from the tripod so I can show you up under here and what I'm looking at and the swing arm. So yeah, that's going to have to come off because it's pretty dirty down in there. And if I'm going to take the time to go through all this and take all this stuff off. Okay, I'm back real quick. Battery died. Alright, so as I was saying, I don't know if it caught it before it died, but I'm definitely going to take the swing arm off because if I'm going to go through the trouble to paint this thing and make it look nice, I mean, back in here, you see all that, that's all oil, and there's oil behind there, and there's no way I'll be able to clean that with it being on the bike still. So I will take that off. There is this little rubber thing here, which I'm going to have to be really, really careful with that thing. But I'm going to try to, if you look up under here, this is the rear brake mechanism. So when you pull this, when you push down on the lever, which you can't see in the frame here, but it pulls this and your brake switch is right in here. So I'm going to try to leave, that spring looks like crap, but I'll go ahead and disconnect the spring. That way it doesn't get mangled. Maybe. Can't really see the damn thing. There we go. Okay. So you can see right here where my hand is, there's a little spring that gets pulled, and it pulls this lever right here, and that is what turns on your brake light. So, and then this here is just your center stand assembly right here, and the spring that just kicks it back, holds it up in place. Battery vent tube, which I have a digital battery, AGM battery in here, so I don't even need that. Take that out. But get off the ground here, and then we got some wiring up in here. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but that is for the rear light, which I have disconnected, and then these holes right here, that's the seat. Turn signals, our rear turn signals are going to go there, and this thing should, I don't even know if it's got the wiring in here. No, I'll have to run the wires through, no big deal. But I think I'm going to stop this for now, and then all we got left is take off the front wheel, take off the headlight bucket, triple tree, take off the forks, set those aside. So I'll probably go ahead and do that, and then I'll just snap a picture of it, or let my battery charge some more and go ahead and show disconnecting that. It's pretty straightforward. You got your 3 bolts here, you got one here, one here, one here. Then I can release the forks, take those off, take the handlebars off. And like I said, I'm going to try to take the cables and stuff off with it. Give it a whirl at least. And that's what we got so far, guys. So we are definitely making some progress, and she's coming right along. So by tomorrow I should have everything off this bike, and then I'll be ready to, gotta take the rear sets off. Then I'll be ready to start sanding, degreasing, clean it up, and take off my little flap in the back there, take the fenders and stuff off. Take off the handlebar, the mirrors, which I really like them. I like they're cool, but you can't really see around them. They need to extend out farther. But anyway, I think I'm gonna pause it here, and I'll be back in no time, in your time. So yak at you here soon. Okay, we're back at it again, and what we're going to do now is, I think I got the camera aimed right. We're going to take off the swing arm. So first thing we want to do is we want to take this screw out here. This is the brake assembly, brake light assembly. And if you look in here, there is 2. I don't know, I'm not at the camera, so, but there's a yellow wire and a brown wire. And they have these spring connector clips that the wire goes through, and all you gotta do is push down and release it. And so the brown goes on the left, the yellow goes on the right, and here is our brake switch. So what we're going to do is we'll put that in the bag so we don't lose it. And the screw. And that will allow us to remove the swing arm, because the wire for this brake switch comes down and it goes up under and in through this tube. So I'll show you that here in a sec. Alright, so now all we gotta do is pull this wire out, which comes up from underneath, like I said. Alright, so that's done. Now we can take off the rear sets. There is this mechanism right here, which is, I really don't even know what it's called, but it attaches to the rear tire and keeps it from moving. So I believe it looks to be about 15 or so. Let's try a 14. I think I got a 14 out here. I got an 18. I got a 17. Then I got some big ones. Let's grab the sockets then. We'll see what size this is. We got, what do we got on here? 14. Well, let's try the other way. Sorry for the sniffles. I just sneezed a few times. Okay. So I already took a picture of this so we don't lose sight of what's what. I don't even know what to call this thing. Because I don't know what it's called. So we'll call it rear brake thing. So we have the rear brake thing. Alright, now we can take the rear sets off. Those are a 17mm. Loosen that screw and unscrew them. And nothing to mark on that because it's unremarkable. And we'll take the other side off. Let's go this way. And we'll try to turn this one out. Now, and I know the camera doesn't show it, but there is a rubber piece up here. I'm going to see if it comes off because this one looks... The one on the Trail 90 was actually in pretty good shape, so I don't have to mess with it. But I'm going to pop out. I don't think there's anything else connected here. Nope. We'll pop this, we'll hit this screw from this side. Pull this out. Drop that in over there. And here is the swing arm. Man, this thing is really close to me. I'm trying not to break it. Show you. Once I get it off here, get it disconnected. It's a pretty rough shade. Okay. This here is the rear swing arm. And this is that rubber thing I was talking about. It goes around the other side over there, so I'm going to leave this attached. And I'll deal with it, spray some WD-40 or something on it, loosen it up, get it unstuck so I can sand this and paint it, but we'll set it aside. There are a pile of parts over here. Okay, now, let's see here. What can we do now? Well, I'm going to take off the headlight bucket. Let's see if I got enough battery charge to do this. Okay, I've already disconnected all the wires in here and I pulled them back through. So let's go ahead and remove the headlight bucket. And I think this is going to be probably about a 14. Let me see where I put my 14. Okay. Yep, 14 it is. And like I said earlier, the wiring is pretty simple on these. They're all color coded, so there's really no screwing the wiring up. Unless somebody's been in here. Well, I'm back again. I know at some point my battery died, and I'll have to look at this and see exactly where it died. But I'm going to disconnect the throttle cable, and what you got to do is there's this little mechanism in right here, and you got to pull the cable out of that, and then that will allow me to pull this down. There is a piece of metal that sits down here, and it kind of holds that in place. So I'm going to pull that, push that back down there, pull the cable out, and then I'll slide this back up in place. We'll just kind of lay that right there. That way I can pull this cable back down. This is the throttle cable, and now we have the whole choke throttle cable assembly out of the way. Just lay that on the table over here. And I will leave that dangle for the moment. There is 3 screws that go in up under this throttle thing. So, same concept. It's kind of wonky actually. It works. I mean, it works fine, but you know, just kind of different. All right, so with that said, then I can take this off. And the problem I'm going to run into is when I want to paint this frame, I'm going to have to disconnect the brake cable, and I can leave those there, but the brake cable has definitely got to come off. So let's see here. That wasn't too bad. Except for my butterfingers. Okay, so let's just set this here for a moment so we can turn this out and see if we can get the brake cable out. So we'll be there for a minute. Where's my pliers at? We'll get this cable out. There we go. Alright, brake cable's off. It's laying down. We'll go ahead and put this back in here so we don't lose parts. Alright, so we got that disconnected. This is all the wiring for the turn signals. What else we got over here? Turn signals and horn button, and your headlights on this side over here. Turn signal is on that side over there. So now we should be able to go ahead and pop off the handlebars. Alright, so let's see here. Where's my 10 mil? There's that. And this. And I do apologize for the stopping of the video. I didn't know the camera had shut off. You didn't miss too much though. Just go ahead and take off these handlebars. Set those aside. And then, well, we need to take the front wheel off. I don't know if I'm going to mess with that tonight or not. We won't lose our screws there. Trying to keep some of this stuff attached because, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get these handlebars re-chromed. So, and if I can't, then ain't no sense in taking them all apart, only to run those cables and stuff back through there. Which, I mean, I know I said it was kind of a pain. It is kind of a pain, but it's not hard to do. Just run a fish of wire through there and then tape them onto the end of the cables and then pull them back through. It's pretty straightforward. And they're not like super big bars. Okay, so we got handlebars off. That is over in the pile of parts. Okay. And that was loose underneath there. Okay, so now at this point, we need to look at taking off the front wheel, or actually the forks. But I'm going to take the wheel off first. But I know as soon as I take the wheel off, it's going to fall over because I've got the center stand on here still. But I'm thinking, how do I want to go about doing this? Let's see here. We've got, I haven't messed with the forks are different on the Trailmaster, so and I can take off the top bolts on that triple tree. I do not want to release the bearings are fine, so I don't want to mess with the tree itself, the stem bearings. They work good, so I don't want to mess with those. And since we are painting it black, I can leave this frame here on. You just have to clean it up really good. And technically, I could leave, I need to take the fender off, which I guess we can go ahead and do that. So leave the wheel on. Let's see here. What the? No, they got some sort of freaking Allen wrench in there. Well, that sucks. Well, let's see what size that is. That is a 5. So let's go ahead and release this fender. I'll see if we can get the top piece off without too much trouble. Fender. And fender. Definitely not original bolts. No biggie. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this with the wheel on. And that is definitely not a 5. So let's try a 6. Which I know is going to be too big. That is not going to fit in here with these spokes in the way. Let's try moving these spokes. Well, that ain't gonna work, guys. Okay, well, that's pretty stupid, but... Alright, so, let's see here. I've already got, let's do this. Let's get this ready. Let's set the front forks onto that. Go ahead and take this front wheel off. And I can just lay the forks onto it. Kind of lose track of all my parts here. Let's see if that's going to come out of there. Nope. And I don't know if that threads out. So let's find out. Not too big. What do we got here? 17? It's a hair too big. I don't know if this is catching this or not. I'm just taking off the wheel now. Okay. Now, before I do this and have a total fiasco on my hands, let's get this in here. I'll lift this up. Front axle bolt. Or screws back in here so we don't lose those. I got the fender bolts over here. Okay, so front wheel should just come off. And it did. Voila. And we got a spacer. Stick back in the wheel. Then we got the brake assembly, which brakes look pretty new. So we'll set that over here in our pile of parts. Alright, let's see here. We are still on the front, so now let's take off. Move my table out of the way over here. Let's see if we can get this front fender off here. Okay. Let's see if this works. Okay, that came off. So apparently, this is a 6mm Allen. Let's say it's in there loose. So what do you say? Should we just paint those bolts? No, I'm painting the fender. Okay. We should have one free fender. There we go. We have a free fender. So I can stick these back here. Stick this one back here. And I mean, I can tape off these nuts. I can tape off that nut without actually having to remove the forks, since this is all going to be black. And that's going to be black. There's little rubber pegs here. Actually, they're going to come out because turn signals are going to go there. And just paint this. I can take off the clamps there. Put these screws back down here so I don't lose them. So pretty much, guys, we have a completely torn down bike minus the center stand. So that's where we stand. And like I said, I mean, we're doing the whole bike black, so this lower part of the triple tree can be painted black too. Clean it up, degrease it, everything, make sure, you know, the paint sticks good. And I can tape off the wiring harness without having to remove it. I still got to remove the center stand unless I decide to try to tape around it. But there you guys go. As I trip over the fender. So let's see here. Take the camera off here. Alright. So there it is. Other than removing the ignition switch there and taping that up and pushing that back inside, we've got the center stand left, and we got the little duck tail back here I need to take off. That's just 2 screws. Remove some of these grommets. Turn signals, like I said, are going to go right here. That's just the wiring for the back light. I'll remove that grommet. Then we got the center stand. So I can go ahead and take these off, and or just tape this up right here. Take these off. I should be able to take these out without having to disassemble the forks, since they're all going to be black anyway. But that's where we are at the moment. So stay tuned. I will be back in a little bit with an update and how we're going to proceed. I got to hang this thing up, degrease it, start sanding on it, and keep you guys updated. So I'll be back shortly. Well, back again. Alright, well, it wasn't that long. Of course, I think I got timestamps on these videos, but yesterday we tore the thing apart. So today I have spent most of the day, actually all of the day, sanding, and you can see the progress I'm making here. Kind of reminds me of something on Terminator. But left the front forks on. Since I'm going to go ahead and do those back black, I will tape the bottoms. Everything is sanded pretty smooth, degreased, and pretty much ready to go. We got other parts over here. We got the fender, front fender. So that's the outside. Here's the inside, still sanded. Then we got the one side over here. This one's actually metal. And then we've got part of the chain guard there. Plastic side cover. This is the top of the triple tree, and it had black paint on it. And I just took it on the buffing pads there and took that off, and it turned out pretty good. So I think I'm going to leave that like it is. I'm not even going to paint it. Other chain guard. Here's the swing arm. I know it looks kind of rough, but it's actually pretty smooth. And then we've got the headlight bucket right here. I'm actually just going to go ahead and tape that off, tape the emblem off, and I'll spray over that. And we got the engine here. We still got to clean up the exhaust pipe there, but that'll some 000 steel wool and vinegar, clean that right up. And what else do we have here? Boxes of parts, more parts. Oh, I did take this back wheel and put it on the buffing pads, which are actually Prime, P-R-Y-M-E. They have a coarse and a kind of a softer one. They do a really good job. So I still got to take this piece off so I can get it behind here and get all this, or just hit it with my Dremel. So that's where we are for now. So next step will be to prep all these parts more, clean them down, wipe them off. Then I got to get the frame hung from the ceiling and some of these other parts hung, and then I'll be ready to shoot the primer on. And then I've already got the we're going to go with a jet gloss black, and I ordered a new, and I'm going to try it out. It's a chrome paint from Eastwood. We still got to do the tank as the one last piece we still got to do. I got to gas out of it, so we got to clean this up, get the side pads off, and get that sanded down, primed, and then that'll be gloss black, and then the chrome goes over top of that. So anyway, stay tuned for more updates. Alright, back again. What we got here is we got parts hanging. All this stuff has been prepped, cleaned with our Dawn dishwater, and then rinsed off and then blown dry. So our next step will be to, I got one piece left I'm working on, this piece here, and I don't know if I showed it in the video, but it had a big hole right here where my finger is. So I've got some spot putty on it now, and I put down in here, I don't know how well you can see it, that is a KBB fiberglass patch, and then you hit it with a UV light and it turns it rock hard. So I backfilled that, then I put the spot putty over the top of it, so I'm letting my other coat dry so I can put another coat on. But we got the frame, it's prepped, ready to go. So here's the front fender, this is the other half of the chain guard, the one side covered by the battery box. This is the, and that one's plastic, this is the side cover over the oil injection tank. Headlight bucket. Then we got our swing arm. Everything's been sanded. And here is the tank. It's pretty good. Of course it looks really rough, but we're going to do an experiment with this new Eastwood stuff. I've seen some other stuff that's a chrome paint. It's the same concept. You put a black, gloss black paint over it, and then you put about 4 very light coats of this chrome paint, and it's supposed to mimic real chrome. Well, we'll see. I know there's another company that sells it and touts it, but that stuff's like $300, and I didn't want to piss away $300 on something that may or may not work too well, because worst case with this Eastwood stuff was redonkulous too. It was $100 for 8 ounces, but if it don't work, then screw it. I'll just paint it silver. So here's the frame. Everything's taped off, all the wiring, you know. So we're pretty much ready to go. So tomorrow, the plan is to get this piece done tonight, and that way I can get it rinsed and hanging and dried. And then tomorrow, the plan is to shoot the, probably put a couple 3 coats of primer on, and let it sit for about an hour, and then get the black out and shoot that on there, and then let that sit. And according to, and then I got to clear it, so I don't know if I'll have time to do it all tomorrow, but I'm going to do these in stages. I'll probably do a couple 3 pieces at a time. Reason being is I like painting, but this is my garage. I got to put a big curtain up, but when I paint, I got to figure out a better way for ventilation, because man, this stuff really just chokes me up something horrible for the following week. So I'm going to try opening the garage doors a bit. It's only supposed to be about 42 here tomorrow, but I'll heat the garage up to about 75. Then I'll crack the door open, and I got a vent in the ceiling up here. I got an opening in the ceiling, and I stick a box fan up in there to help draw air out, so I'm hoping that'll give me a little more fresh air. And I do have a really super good 3M mask, but the last time I painted in here, man, it took me about a week to breathe good again. So, and I hate doing that crap. So anyway, that's where I am for now, and I will show progress tomorrow after I've got everything primed. I'll snap some pics, because I don't want to have the camera running in here while I'm painting, because it's just a clouded mess of paint in here. So now I'll take some pictures once I'm getting ready to do the black and put that on. I'll do some more video of that, and then once I'm ready to do the clear, I'll do that. And then with the tank over there, according to the instructions, once I get you actually got to clear it too. Then you got to let it sit at about 70 degrees for like 5 days, let the paint cure, and then you're ready to do the chroming process, which is fine because I just ordered that the other day, and it probably won't be here until the latter part of this week. So we will be back here shortly. Alright, well, today is priming day. Here's what I got done so far. We got the swing arm. I got to work on the gas tank. Gas tank's coming out pretty good, but I had one little spot right there. So I got to let the primer set up. so I can sand it and hit it again. But all these parts are coming out pretty good. Don't judge. I'm not a perfect professional painter by any stretch, but they're all coming out pretty nice. Of course, that's the inside. You'll never see that. Let me see if I can spin this around. That's the side cover. The frame's coming out good. Pretty happy with that. Fender's pretty good, other than all the little dimples and stuff in the metal, but I did not fill it with anything, so did have a slight run, but I sanded that out. There's the other chain guard, and here is the other battery cover. So as you can see, it's looking pretty decent. So what I will do is, like I said, I'm going to wait about an hour or so and let this set up, and I'm going to sand this whole section right through here. I got plenty of primer, and I'll lay it on there again. A couple other spots I may touch up. I noticed some little dimpling right in here. Inside of the swinger I'm not too worried about because you ain't going to see much of it because of the wheel. But I'll try to touch that up. But the frame's actually come out pretty good. Pretty happy with that. So the next step will be, I may give a light sanding with some 320 on this, especially on the parts you're going to see. Which would be following the camera here, down and through there. The side cover sits here for the oil tank. And then you have the frame up here. Of course, the seat sits up and through here, and then the gas tank is up and through here. And getting that. Forks come out pretty good. Of course, you can probably see some of the little dimples we got in there. You know, that's not going to be a show bike by any stretch. I just wanted to look good compared to what it did. So, pretty happy with results so far. And what I am using for my primer is your basic Rust-Oleum primer surfacer. And I reduce that with my Speedo Coat urethane reducer. Here is the paint we're going to use. It's a high gloss jet black. And that will be mixed either with this activator, or I got a fast activator for my clear coat that I may use because I have to open these doors up when I paint, because like I said previously, man, this stuff chokes me up and it'll get me going for a week. So, and I know it's just from lack of fresh air coming in here. So I've been opening the doors, heating it up to about 75, 80 degrees in here, and then I've got a little space heater there running. I've got my trap door up here with a fan in it, so I can suck more air up. And I opened these doors up, the garage doors, about halfway, paint, and then promptly leave. So what I may do is when I go to paint, since I've got what, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces total, I may do this in like groups of 3, do that 3, and then kind of come over here and do that 3, and then maybe hit the tank and the swing arm, and then save the frame for last. That way I can spray a coat, let it tack up, let it air out, let it heat back up, and continue on. So we'll see. I don't think I will get any black paint on it tonight. Like I said, I want to touch up this tank, and because I want to try to get this as smooth as I can, because we got that chrome paint coming. And yes, you can see that dimple right there. So I want to try to get it as smooth as I can before I lay the base coat down on it, and then I'll probably end up putting I don't know, probably about 4 coats of clear on the tank, and then I gotta let that set for about 5 days before I do that whole chroming process. But I still gotta get me a I'm gonna try to do it with an airbrush gun. But anyway, I'll be back in a little bit.